Because here's what nobody tells you. Your silence after disrespect. It confuses people, not because you lost, not because you were weak, because they expected a reaction, they expected anger, arguments, begging, pain. They expected you to chase them, to prove yourself, to explain yourself. But you did something different. You went silent, and silence scares people. Because people know how to fight words, people know how to fight emotions. But silence gives them nothing. No anger, no weakness, no explanation, nothing. And suddenly, the same people who laughed at you started wondering, why didn't he react? Why isn't he angry? Why is he acting like he doesn't care? Because deep down, they wanted control. And disrespect is often about control. People disrespect you because they think they understand you. They think they know your limits. They think they know exactly how you'll react. But the moment you stay calm, the moment you walk away, the moment you disappear, everything changes because now they're left alone with their own thoughts. And trust me, thoughts become louder in silence. Silence isn't weakness, warriors. Sometimes silence is the loudest revenge. And here's the part nobody talks about. Silence isn't easy. People act like staying quiet means you felt nothing. Like you didn't care, like it didn't hurt. But warriors know the truth. Silence hurts. Because there were 1,000 things you wanted to say, 1,000 arguments inside your head, 1,000 moments where you wanted to scream. Why did you do this to me? Why wasn't I enough? Why did you disrespect someone who stayed loyal? But maturity, real maturity, is realizing not every battle deserves your voice. Read that again. Not every battle deserves your voice. Because some people don't want understanding. They want reaction. They want chaos. They want to pull you into a war where everyone loses. And the strongest people, they stop fighting for attention. They stop proving themselves. They stop explaining their hearts to people committed to misunderstanding them. Because once pain teaches you enough, you realize something dangerous. Closure doesn't always come from people. Sometimes closure comes from silence, from distance, from disappearing. And maybe that's why silence drives people crazy. Because after disrespect, they expected you to break, expected you to cry, expected you to chase, expected you to come back. But instead, you became quiet, you became distant, you became focused, and suddenly, they couldn't read you anymore. And people fear what they can't understand. Because when someone no longer reacts, no longer begs, no longer explains, it forces people to sit alone with what they did. And trust me, guilt becomes louder when the room gets quiet. Because silence has a strange power. Silence becomes a mirror, and mirrors reveal things people spend years running from. Their actions, their selfishness, their mistakes, their truth. So, while they thought they were hurting you, while they thought they won, while they thought they broke something inside you, you were rebuilding, quietly, painfully, alone, turning anger into discipline, turning heartbreak into focus, turning disrespect into fuel, because warriors eventually learn. The loudest revenge isn't screaming. It isn't proving people wrong. It isn't coming back stronger just so people notice. The loudest revenge is becoming unrecognizable. Stay silent, stay focused, let your results speak. And maybe that's why you've become harder to understand. Not because your heart disappeared, because your pain got quieter. See, before, you used to explain yourself, used to fight for people, used to chase, used to care so much that you forgot yourself. But pain changes language. Pain changes behavior. Pain changes people. After enough disrespect, something inside you shuts off. Not love, not kindness, access. Read that again. Not your heart, access. Because now you understand something you once ignored. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your attention. And definitely, Not everyone deserves another chance, because people think forgiveness means allowing disrespect again. No, forgiveness is peace. Access is earned. There's a difference. And now you're dangerous, because now you don't react immediately. Now you observe. Now you watch. Now you listen. And silence teaches things noise never could. Silence reveals intentions. Silence reveals fake loyalty. Silence reveals who checks on you, and who only checks on you when they need something, because distance exposes truth. Read that again. Distance exposes truth. And maybe right now, the people who disrespected you think you've forgotten, think you've moved on, think you're unaffected. No, you remembered. You simply stopped arguing with reality. You stopped forcing loyalty. Stop forcing effort. Stop forcing people to be real, because warriors eventually realize you cannot force honesty. You cannot force respect. You cannot force people to value you. So instead, you became silent, and while they thought silence meant weakness, you were evolving, quietly, slowly, dangerously, because one day, they'll see you again. Different, focused, peaceful, stronger, and they'll wonder, why doesn't he react anymore? Why does he seem untouchable now? Because the version they disrespected, the version that begged, that chased, that explained everything, is gone. And silence buried that version forever. And here's the scary part. Silence changes people. Not overnight, not instantly. Slowly, very slowly. At first, you stay quiet because you're hurt, because you're tired, because you don't have energy left to explain yourself anymore. But then something strange happens. You start enjoying peace. No drama, no fake conversations, no forced energy, no chasing, no begging, just peace. And once a warrior tastes peace, they become addicted to it. Because after living in chaos for so long, peace feels unreal. You start sleeping better, thinking clearer, breathing easier. And for the first time in a long time, your mind becomes quiet. No more replaying conversations. No more proving yourself. No more trying to convince people that your heart was real. Because eventually, you understand something powerful. People don't always lose you when you leave. Sometimes they lose you the moment they disrespect you. Read that again, because disrespect changes things. After disrespect, trust moves differently. Energy moves differently. Love moves differently. And maybe they thought you'd stay. Maybe they thought you'd forgive endlessly. Maybe they thought you'd keep returning, like you always did before. But not this time. Because pain finally taught you what loyalty never could: self-respect. Now your silence isn't pain. Now your silence is power. Now your silence says, I saw everything. I understood everything. And I chose peace. Because warriors don't always leave loudly. Sometimes they simply become unavailable. Unavailable to disrespect. Unavailable to fake energy. Unavailable to people who only value them when they're gone. And trust me, nothing hurts people more than losing access to someone they thought would always stay. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was the moment you finally chose yourself.